Hello and welcome to another daily review with Adrian H. Let's begin. So far price has been progressing nicely. I hope you guys have watched my previous videos on how I was expecting this week to play out. And if we have a quick rundown, just change my cursor here so you can see. We've been looking at, so we'd had this big sell-off and then we've come up here. And we've been looking for, so this was Tuesday, and we're looking for a sweep of this coming into Thursday. So I'm looking for a Thursday high of the week with our unemployment claims coming in at 8:30. So the sweep here and then continuation down. In the higher time frame on the 4 hour, been watching an SBS on NQ1 here. And so what I had mapped out previously, if you watch the other videos, we have that breakdown here is 1. We come back up for our retracement is 2. Next sweep is 3. We then draw our OTE on from 1 to 3, which is here. And we're looking for sweep of 2. That's 4. And then we're looking for 5 to be around that OTE area and possibly the sweep of 4, which we've just done. So interesting to see now. So we're coming into this, we've got this 4 hour SIBI in here. So that's sort of our line in the sand. So we're looking for that New York high of the day and then expansion down. And we're looking for 3 here as the target. This will be invalidated if we come up and we flip this SIBI here. And this just all becomes a low swing. So eyes on that, that is the key for today. All right, we'll drop back down into our 5-minute chart. So we had our full extension down here. We had a Q1 manipulation. This was a day for Q1s. You can see they stack up. So we have a Q1 here. We draw our standard deviations on. Our targets become SD 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5, which was our high of the day here, coming in there just above SD 4.5. Very nice reactions off each one. So we hit SD 1.5, we go into reaccumulation down here. So a bit of an SBS there too. So we sweep our high here, 1, 2, 3, and then we have 4, 5, just like we're looking at the higher time frame, and then 6 breaking the high of 3. You can also do that OTE swing from the low here to the high, and we come down to 705 there. So price swings up to SD 1.5. We go into reaccumulation. Sweep the low of 2, and then sorry, it was this low here, down to 705. Get our break of structure here in another Q1. We draw out our zone, and then we've got the same thing, SD 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. This becomes our Q1 manipulation for New York. And price expands up to that SD 4.5 from this swing. So Q1 manipulation into a Q1, price comes back to mitigate it. And then we push up. Do another manipulation here. Price comes back to mitigate the shorts from that manipulation. We push up. And it just keeps stacking up as we go. Break out, come back, mitigate the manipulation shorts, push up. Have a look at C's quickly. We'll just change this. Sorry, I've got to use the replay tool back to end of the day. So price had already opened up into the external range here of the previous day. So we're in the 25th external, and price pushed up into the 25th high external. being above the previous day's range. Change that to the 4 hour. Have a quick look at the order flow. And we'll just put this on show historic, which will show all the previous 4 hours. So we have our bearish order flow here, being internal to external, internal to external. And then we have our flip here. So we come back up, internal to external. So now we're into bullish order flow, internal to external. And then we have our manipulation here from London, which was a Q3 manipulation. And we push down, we've got external to external reversal. And then internal to external for the H4 here. So for the 10 o'clock H4's open low into the high close. And then continuation for the PM, internal to external. So Q1 manipulation in Asia. We're waiting for that high to break here. And then we can get in off that zone. Turn that off now. So ideally, longs are from here after we break out. We can have our targets of SD 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5 for the day. Quickly pop them on. And stop probably can be a little bit tighter there. Under 50% of that zone. It should hold if the zone's going to hold. And we come back up. So we hit that SD 1.5 into London, into Q3. We go back to there in our replay tool. Zoom in here. We can then put on, so C's here. We have H4 median up here, external. It's our internal one here. So far that H4 has opened high. And we're looking for highs to then short and take out some of this liquidity that's been built up here in a range liquidity. It's coming up to median. We can turn on hyper. So hyper shows us, try and zoom right in, makes it nice and clear for everyone. So we've got 88.4% probability of this level here, 86, 85 within the current hour. So lots of high probability levels here as well. We just got to wait for our entry conditions. We turn more on at the time. We can see over here on our chart, more is lighting up red. We've got lots of levels to be retested. And the highest one here is sitting on the 9 hours at 85, 8 hours, 83%. We've got now 78.9 on the 4 hour. So if we go into more settings, what I've got that set on the 4 hour at the moment. So that being, we have a 78% chance of the 2 o'clock open being retested within this 4 hour time frame. So by 6 o'clock here, if we pop our line on here. So some good confluence there. So 78% for more. And we've got hyper is showing 88.4% chance for this low. So we step through. You can see here, unable to break this low. That's responsible for the highs here. Coming into 330, so it's 310. So we've swept our Q2 highs, coming up. And we get a swing failure pattern here. So we can either enter off of this candle, which becomes our bearish order block, stop above the high, and we're targeting SD 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. Put these on nice and quick. Everyone loves a fast review. Okay, so high risk entry here. Otherwise, we wait for this low for a candle close below. And we get that there. So lower risk entry after this close. There's the open retest. So that was the 78% probability. Hitting these other ones in hyper now. So we can see they disappear as each level gets hit. SD 1.5. So first account TP's there. We get a reaction. So we'll normally get a redistribution phase at SD 1.5 and SD 2.5 if we're going to continue all the way down to SD 4. Oh, we had that that high hit that 4-hour median nicely there. You can see. This is our 4-hour median on the internal range. And once we break the previous 4-hour low here, this range will change to an external range. So it'll go to a darker color. And into the new 4-hour here. So we've come down, just hit that SD 3.5. So we've got a TP1, TP2, TP3 counts out, one account left. We hit, we're into the 25th of the external range now, and we hit SD4 there. This one doesn't get SD 4.5. But a lot of the time, the retracements we'll see do come back to that 79, and you do get a soup of 79. We're just hitting 705 there. SD4, quarter one, so plausible open low, high closes, but already in that external range. And we've taken out all those liquidity levels we were watching on hyper, and we can see now the liquidity levels have changed to the highs instead of the lows. We're only like 58% down here, 56, 52% chance for the low, 86% chance here. For the current hour is the CH, 83, 80, and 78 for that high. So we get our break here. This becomes our bullish OB on the 5-minute. So we can enter straight off that, the high risk entry. And same thing, SD 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. We'll just pop another vertical line on for the 4-hour so we can see. We've got all that liquidity here, lining up nicely with that SD 1.5. It's a really good first target there. And 4.5, just neaten these up quickly. Okay, I'll keep stepping through. There's our confirmation there. We get our break. So then our normal 5-minute entry is on a retest of that zone in here. And that's when we draw on our standard deviation. So for this one here, and we take that entry, we're preempting that break. So there's more risk involved with taking the entries here, and lower risk involved once we get that break of the zone and getting our entries from a zone retest. Right up here, coming into quarter two now, into 8:30. So we hit SD1 there. That was the other thing I didn't mention as well, was with more, can we just move that to the front? So once we had the break of the low here, we then get our more retest, was 84% probability of the 6 o'clock retest once we'd swept that previous H4 here. And then we get our, so 9:30 open. So we've come back up, retested the zone. SD 1.5, TP1. TP2. See how good these reactions are from each standard deviation level. This price goes into a reaccumulation from each level. TP3. There's our external median on the H4. And TP4 here there. So this H4, same again, open low, high close. Get our 5-minute manipulation swing here. So if we're not in, we can look for entry there. And we can see how they're all sort of stacking, right? So we've got a manipulation zone here. Price comes back to mitigate, comes back up. We have another manipulation here from this 9:30 leg. Price comes out, comes back to mitigate, holds 50% of that level, expands up. All the way up to our SD 4.5. And we get to, so New York PM now, into quarter one. We come up, get a little raid there at the low. This is our Q1 manipulation as well. Pretty interesting day. Normally we'll get these swings in the Q3s. But the main ones were, so quarter one for Asia. Q3 was London. And then quarter one for New York. And yeah, quarter one here for the PM. Q3 and then Q4's consolidation. So we'll just pop that back to here. So very nice day. Get rid of hyper. And we'll turn C's off. Some great positions with the 5-minute model. And that main swing from the Asia quarter one, a lot of the time you'll see this move actually happens here in quarter three with PM. And then we come into Asia and break that zone and then we continue up. But this one was at open. And very well respected, and the main levels for the day. So reaccumulation, SD 1.5, SD 2.5, reaccumulation, SD 3.5 to reaccumulation, and straight to target SD 4.5, and that becomes the high of the day. Put our PO3 on, have a quick look. So we can see a manipulation was the wick. That's this move here. And the manipulation high is the wick. That's the move above SD 4.5. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Please, if you enjoyed this or got something out of it, like, subscribe. Please share. Let's keep these videos free, and I'll try and keep them rolling as much as I can. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.